This is why you should be taking what we call a financial health checkup. If you have a car, do you see the way you usually constantly take that car, let's say after 10,000 kilometers or whatever the miles that is, for a checkup, change of oil, tightening of nuts here and there, check 1, 2, 3, under the hood, whatever. You get what I'm saying? Or maybe you usually go for medical checkup or something of sort. See, there is something called financial health checkup. You should be going for that thing to check your financial status, financial health, your goal, is it in line, and all those kind of things. Okay, now on this video I'm going to take you through step by step, showing you why it is important to do that quarterly. It means after every 4 months. And why after every 4 months? Why not after every week? Why not after every 1 month? No, why quarterly? What's the importance? You see, this is Good Joseph, in case you're watching me for the first time. And guess what I do? I make videos like this one about finances, showing you step by step on what you can be able to do. And again, I love to say this wherever I talk. I'm sharing this not because that I'm a monopoly of ideas, not that I have a life manual. People told me, like, hey, Joseph, you're behaving as if you have a life manual. No, I don't have a manual for life. What I'm here is there's something that I can share with you. And also, I know I can also learn something from you. And that's why I always encourage you, please leave a comment on the comment section so that at least we can learn from each other, just like an iron sharpens another iron. See, it's always good to make sure that you have a 4 months financial checkup. 4 months financial checkup. Okay, this is to actually, number one, identify if you are on course. You are if you are on course. What course? Course of achieving that thing that you like. Whatever I'm achieving or whatever I'm actually working towards is not what you're working towards, okay? It's you only one who knows what you want. Let's say, for example, you're watching this video and you'll be like, you know what, in 2 years time or 1 year or whatever the period of time it is, or maybe you are like, okay, beginning, for example, making this video towards the end of year 2024. At the beginning of 2025, I want to do groundbreaking. I want to invest in that real estate. I have a piece of land that I bought some years ago. I want to develop my own home where I want to. I'm going for a retire. I'm looking forward into investing. You know what? I want to start a dairy farming. I want to start farming somewhere. I want to start a business. So every 4 months, it's always good to take yourself a pen and paper. Sit down with your diary. Sit down with that place where you write down. I love to tell people, if you can, write those goals down so that you can be able to understand, what do I need? So after every 4 months, you can go back and check, hey, guess what? At the beginning of the year or at the beginning of whatever the period it is, as I move, the way I'm moving, the pace that I'm moving in, it will actually reach me to the destination. Will actually, let's say, for example, you are going somewhere and you do not have, or you've never been there, only thing that you have is your phone for the purposes of the GPRS and a car that has fuel. Okay, now it's always good to make sure that, am I on the course? Am I on course? Am I on course? To make sure that at least the route that you're taking will actually reach your destination. So that is exactly what you're supposed to know. Because if you actually out there, you don't even check what we call the regular checkups. There is this kind of spending that infiltrate. There are these funny spendings. I don't know whether you've ever seen them. Yeah, there are things that you cannot even monitor them, but they just creep into your budget without even you notice. Maybe there are 2,000 somewhere. Funny 2,000 just came in, 500 just came in, 400 just came in, 200 just came in. Probably these 200 is every day, which at the end of the month translates to 6,000. So that you can check those infiltration, those funny spendings that are coming here. Some people, you know what? If maybe if you are the breadwinner of the house, okay, regardless of your gender, it's always good to check out. Maybe you're checking, how much am I spending for my water? How much goes for my utilities? How much goes for my rent? Or by the way, and maybe you compare and contrast yourself with some other people who earn like you and check whatever they're paying for your rent or for the rent. Is all you get what I'm saying? You check out or whether you're moving on the right direction. Check out, oh, Joseph talks about investment. Do that every 4 months. You're checking that so that you can actually know if you are on course in achieving that particular goal and the target that you would love to achieve in the name of actualizing that financial freedom. Because I do believe you're on a journey for a financial freedom. Are we together up to that particular point? Okay, now that is one of the major reasons why you should do that. Okay, now the other reason why you should always have a financial, by the way, before I even say anything on that, even companies, they usually have a checkup. to see, hey, you know what? We fired, let's say, an IT department, the entire IT department, or we exchanged, or we had a new blood, that was pumped in. What is the performance? What is it going on in this complex, this company? Which section is actually lagging behind? Did we meet the goals? Did we deal? And that is now the second point, is to actually do what? Check if you met. Check if you met, are we together, what we call the quarterly goals. And you should have them, the quarterly goals. You check if you are meeting those goals. Just like the companies does. I love to say this. I was about to say run your house, run your finances, run your checkbook just like a company. Run it that way. Don't do anything less of a company. Adjust. Is everyone tightening their belt from everyone's end? We said we're going to do this and this and that. Is everyone doing that? From this business, I said I'll be committing an X amount of money. Am I doing that? Am I on course in achieving no? Am I doing that? You see, you ask yourself, if the status quo remains for the entire stretch of the financial year, I'm now speaking the language of the government, the language of companies. If the status quo remains the next financial year, will I achieve something? Like, for example, at the beginning of this year, we actually embarked on a target of saving 100,000. So you keep on asking yourself, I'm on a journey of 100,000. That 100,000 saving at the end of the year, it simply means, let's say, save 7,000 or 8,000 or whatever the amount of money it is. Did I save that particular month? If I'm on month 4, I should be saving this amount of money. Is it in translation to what I actually have in a bank account or in a savings account or an investment account? Is it actually marrying each other? If it is actually marrying each other, then keep on doing that. You are still on course. That helps you to do that. The other thing that can be so important, why you should have a 4 months checkup, is to also accommodate, or to, inflation happens, and when the inflation happens, of course, there is an adjustment of the spending. You realize maybe last month 10,000 was okay for a budget. You guys, you can eat, drink, do everything, but excuse me, but things has actually appreciated. You realize it's no longer 10,000. Probably you need like 11,000 or 12,000 or something of sort. So that to do what? To check, to check or to monitor any inflation changes that is affecting your cash, to change or to check anything of that kind. So if you want to know if there is an adjustment, for example, right now you find like for example, in Kenya, there is a staple food known as ugali. The maize flour that is used to prepare ugali was actually going for around 220. Right now, as you speak, it's around, say, a flat of 100, or maybe let's say 110, whatever. Okay. See, the price has actually reduced by half. Now, the question is, what if you had budgeted when it's around 110? Because there was a time it was 110, and then boom, it goes back to 220. And of course, maybe let's say you need like 4 packets of these in an entire month of year, and then you had set aside, let's say, 440. Now you need 880. So when you actually keep on checking that, whatever is happening in the market out there can actually help you to readjust yourself. And the moment you adjust that what you're spending, because these are recurrent expenditures, there is no way you can say, hey, I'm gonna fast for the next 2 years without eating, knowing nothing, so that I can achieve my goal. I mean, it's not feasible. Are we together? Of course, you know what will exactly happen. So it's always good to make sure that you catch up with this, especially for men. They so disregard this. You find the money that you are setting aside for the food and groceries and whatever, it's the same money. Well, people from the Western countries may not understand what I'm talking about. In African traditional society, whatever, you find that the man who sets aside amount of money and is not checking out, so he's not familiarizing himself with the changing in terms of the purchasing power and what have you. So he's just living the same money like he was living in the last 3 years, 4 years, and the things have already changed. So when you have this constant 4 months checkup, you can actually tell yourself whether you're moving on the right direction. The other thing that is quite important, I don't want you to forget about it, is you check your financial, or what we call the emergency fund. You check your emergency fund status account. You check exactly what is going out there. You ask yourself, hey, guess what? Wow, how does the emergency fund look like? Am I actually saving based on what I said? And by the way, in case today a BS happens, can I be able to eat, drink, dress, move to a job? Can I actually get that breathability allowance that can help me to look for another job? You get what I'm saying? Because especially if you have a family, you really need to have that emergency fund set aside. Okay, see, we set aside this emergency fund not because we assume to be having a control of our lives. No, we control the controllables. we'd rather have this emergency fund and nothing happens rather than not having it and then something happens. So it's always good to make sure that there's something that you're setting aside and check what is happening again. Okay, you ask yourself, okay, we should have at least 3 to 6 months amount of money set aside for the emergency fund. Do we have that about there, or we don't have it? Oh, okay. We are short by how much? We are short by 5,000. Okay. By the way, if you get that 5,000 as of now and put it in that emergency fund, will we affect anything? No, we won't affect anything. Okay, fine. Let's get that 5,000, throw it in that emergency fund, so that on this particular side we know we have actually been covered for the next 3 or 6 months there. So in case something happens, I have 3 to 6 months to rearrange myself, to replan myself, to get back on feet and something of sort. Okay, that is exactly how you do it. And of course, when you're doing this, the other thing that I should say is like the last one, which is very important, that might not be seemed, is it actually grows or integrates there is something that it integrates a certain character. I don't like the correct term to integrate. It grows a character inside of you. This character of having a constant checkup, and that character can actually, you can even affect the people who surrounds you. You can even, sort of, it's sort of contagious, due to lack of a better word. Allow me to use that term. You find like, I always tell people, by the way, the reason why I usually come here to share is because I've ever heard of whatever I share from someone. Okay, I do come up with other things because I can do research anyway. But of course, I did not, for example, I've used the term of course. I did not invent the word of course. I learned it from somebody. Is it true? So if you learn nothing from somebody, then of course don't expect to share, because you will share nothing. Are we together? So if you learn something, you have the habit, you have the character, you can even have the confidence to stand before the people and tell them, for example, if today you ask me, hey, how can I become a YouTuber? I mean, I have like everything that I can share with you, how to become a YouTuber. Why? Because I'm already a YouTuber. I know what it is, I'm telling you about this checking up and whatever because I do them, and I tell you about these investments because I do them. I mean, like, you can be able to tell something that you've already done. Let's say somebody approaches you and you're in that profession. You see, you usually have that confidence sharing with them, and you can even detect a falsehood that is coming by. You're like, oh, okay. I've detected that. So whenever you get yourself into this kind of a behavior and character, it helps you to monitor. It helps you to grow that habit and that character, and you can empty it to people. You can even make a business out of it. It's true. You can make a business out of it. There was a guy who was being shared on our socials here in Kenya. He was actually roasting maize, at the roadside and what have you. The guy actually embarked on saving continuously. He bought himself a public transport bus, and commonly known as Nganya or Matuana culture. If you go check on YouTube, Matuana culture, it's a very popular thing actually globally here in Kenya. So the guy bought himself a very nice Nganya, and I mean, that's a story for another day. So you see, if that guy can actually stand before people who are roasting maize, of course, what do you expect? He can be able to share something. Are we together? So that is exactly how we do it. And we don't do this because we brag. No, we do this because at least you have something that you can be able to share. Hey, anyway, allow me to just stop there and say thank you for always coming here and watch my videos, and I'm delighted. Don't forget to make sure that you leave me a comment on the comment section. Make sure that you hit the subscription button so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new good video. I'm tired, but I always upload a video each and every day, so that's why you should subscribe. That's why you should turn that notification bell. And if you'd like my services in one way or the other, pick that number of mine from the description of this specific video, shoot me a call or send me an email, then we can be able to talk a business and you can pick it up from there. And tell me on the comment section, do you guys do this financial thing? Well, if you have never done it, don't worry, you can start somewhere. See you the next time.